Greenville right now at my house, Greenville, South Carolina. And I guess everybody's getting ready for Shelby. So with that, this is K4VWD, and I'll stand by for calls.
Good morning, Lee. WA4LLR.
November 4, Charlie Lima Yankee.
NC4ON.
K4GDN.
N4LQ.
I got Dave, I think. I'm real light, and so is Clyde, but I got them both, but then there were two that I couldn't copy. So let's try that again for those two that right after CLY. So please call me again.
Norway Charlie 4, Oscar November, Lee.
K4GDN.
N4LQ.
WB4NKL.
WB4ARK.
Okay, I'm going to need some help. Steve, I still couldn't copy those two after CLY. I could copy you fine. I copied Buddy fine. I could barely hear Dave and CLY, but I got them. So can you give me a read on who those two were after CLY?
Right after CLY, it was NC4ON and K4GDN, and then me, and then Cliff, and then Buddy.
So Cliff is after you, NKL, and I got Stefan, but I didn't copy who you said after Stefan.
George, K4GDN.
Okay. Here's what I got so far. I got LLR, CLY, ON, GDN, LQ, NKL, and ARK. Who else do we have?
Put me after ARK. This is N4AK.
I'm sorry I couldn't copy that. Who was that?
N4AK coming after Buddy.
Okay. Hey, Glenn. AK after Buddy. Anybody else?
W4MEC.
I know there was somebody there, but I couldn't copy.
That was W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, got you. MEC. I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. Okay, I got LLR, CLY, ON, GDN, LQ, NKL, ARK, AK, and MEC. Who else do we have? Don't hear anybody. So, I know, Dave, I know you're getting ready for Shelby, and maybe some of the others are too. So I'll read down the list one more time, and here's the sequence. LLR to CLY to ON to GDN to LQ to NKL to ARK to AK to MEC. So Dave, go ahead and start us off. WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
Okay, Lee. K4VWD and the group, WA4LLR. Well, good morning to everybody. Lee, I'm sorry you're having a time copying. I thought I'd run the Valiant this morning. I hadn't had it on for a while. Maybe I should have stuck with the BC610 since you're having difficulty. But if I'm too weak on everybody, I'll swap rigs. But good morning to everybody. It's 67 degrees and looks like another sunny, warm day up here in Burnsville. Yep, getting ready for Shelby. Got the camper ready to go and getting ready to load the cargo trailer. Hope to go down Sunday afternoon and start getting set up. We've got homecoming at church Sunday, so can't take off until after the service and after the meal. But I hope to get on down there and get this year's Ham Fest going. Looking forward to it. So, Clyde, we'll send it on down to you. Hope you're copying okay. N4CLY, WA4LLR.
Yeah, Roger, I'm copying you just fine. You are between 5.5 and 20 over all through that conversation. So up and down constantly for me. It's 72 degrees here. Got my carport up. Didn't take very long. Took my son and my daughter-in-law and my wife about an hour and a half to get the roof done. Then the next day, my wife and I did the whole rest of it in about 45 minutes. So I didn't have to worry about those tie downs I asked y'all about. It all came with ratchet straps and it came with those auger in tie downs to go around it. So everything was good. It didn't say it came with all that, but it did. Anyway, I'm on my ICOM 7610 today, and I'll turn it over to Stefan, NC40N, N4CLY.
Yeah, Roger, Clyde, good morning, everybody, and Lee, thank you for doing the net this morning. This is NC40N. Yeah, Clyde, I saw your video that you posted on there on YouTube, and thank you for that. I looked at it, and it looked really good. Yeah, everybody is coming in beautiful. I have no issues whatsoever. I hope everything goes well with the garage project there, Clyde, and things are moving along. So, alright, 72 degrees this morning here in Denver. I'm on my Apache lap with the NFET antenna, and I'm using a little USB microphone this time that I bought for $30 in Best Buy, and I'm probably going to use it for when I'm using or going remote. Alright, over to, I think it's George. K4GDN, here it comes, NC40N.
NC40N in the group's K4GDN, and I'm copying everybody pretty well here this morning. The band seems to be quiet, but a little bit on the weak side, and not much in the way of QSB. I'm on the Viking 2 this morning, and I'm listening on both of the HROs, the 5 and the 50. And like I say, everybody's coming in here fairly well. I had hoped to be able to get to Shelby, but it doesn't look like I'm going to make it. I couldn't get a campsite at the RV park that I use in Roebuck. I was going to go there. But anyway, be that as it may, maybe we'll get to one here sooner or later. There hasn't been a Ham Fest, I don't think, in South Carolina now for about 3 years, or at least not one that I could get to. Everybody seems to be coming in fairly well here this morning. Like I said, the band's a little weak, but it is quite quiet. So Steve, coming to you, N4LQ K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN, N4LQ. Very good. Copying everybody just fine here. George, a little static in the background. There is a big stormy mess up in northern Kentucky and over Ohio, and a little bit of Michigan up that way, and I think that's what we're picking up here. But able to copy everybody just great. And let's see, Dave the Valiant sounding good. Clive, the rice box is penetrating through very good, sharp audio. Let's see, Stefan, audio is a little bassy, but I'm copying you okay. And George, that Viking 2 is doing great. Great job here. So, Cliff, how are you this morning? WB4NKL, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4NKL. Good morning to everybody, and everybody's coming in decent. Got a decent copy on George also. I'm hearing the QRN from up north. 73 degrees here, up from 68, and running a little different setup, running a DX100B Heathkit here today with the Collins 75S3 receiver. And Steve, I hooked up the malachite on the outside antenna last night and was playing around with it. Pretty impressive little receiver. I need to get it in line here and use it for the main receiver here for a while, play with it. I'm copying everybody pretty well here, so I don't know what Lee's got going on there. Must have some interference, local interference. Go ahead, buddy. WB4 ARKs, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, WB4ARK. Okay, Cliff, everybody's got a good, strong signal today, including Lee. Lee, your signal is very strong here. Very good audio, textbook audio. And, I was picking up the static crashes when I first turned on the receiver about 8:25 or so, and so it's clear today. Another hot day today, and it looks like no rain. This is the 12th day with no rain, so we're beginning to dry out considerably here in Lake Wylie. Now that's about it for right now, so over to N4AK, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, good morning. You have a very nice signal in here. And Steve is falling in at 20 over, and Cliff is 15 over. And we're about 10 to 15 over. Had a little problem with George, but George, I've got your check. I got your check, so no problem. So we hope Charlie doesn't sell you a receiver in the meantime. Charlie and Lee came over for lunch the other day. Fellas, I really enjoyed that. Sorry y'all had so much traffic. And Lee, I hope you enjoy that little Fly Boys. And forgive me on the tall tales that I included with that. So, Charlie, over to you, W4MEC N4AK.
Okay, Glenn N4AK and the old friends group W4MEC. Good morning, everybody. It's about 70 here and clear skies. Nice day so far. I'm hearing static crashes in the distance. I went and looked at the radar. There's a huge thing over Ohio, big round storm, and it's registering heavy with lightning strikes there off of Blitzer Run, and it's kind of coming this way, but it looks like it is going more southeasterly than it is due south. So we'll see what happens with that monster. Yep, we had a eventful trip to go visit with Glenn for lunch on Tuesday, and Lee and I were headed over there. We ran into a detour. Road closed ahead, local traffic only. So we followed the absolute worst detour I've ever seen staked out. We had to rely on Lee's navigation system in his car. And we finally made it to the restaurant, and on the way back, had a good lunch there at Tony's, and good discussion, and visited with Glenn in his house, and picked up George's receiver to bring to him in September, and I got my the TS2000 that I've bought from Glenn and then sold back to Glenn, and then I've rebought it from Glenn, and I'll probably end up selling it back, and we'll keep doing that until we get it back and forth for free at the rate we're going. So it comes down in price every time. So anyway, I haven't messed with it yet, but we'll get it hooked up maybe this weekend. Anyway, when we left Glenn's house and headed home, I said, Lee, we better follow the GPS this time, and it was heading me back to I-85, and I really didn't want to take I-85, so I said, oh, what the heck, we'll go back the way we came and let the GPS tell us a better way to get there other than following the state's detour. So we headed that way, and there wasn't a sign in sight. So between the time we got to lunch and the time we left Glenn's, they had totally opened the road back up. And then we hit the nightmare of all traffic jams when I got off at I-85 at Pelham Road instead of on Woodruff Road instead of Pelham Road. There's two ways to get to Lee's house, and we ran into the biggest traffic jam I have ever seen in my life. It was awful, and I don't know what was wrong. There had to be some traffic light out of sequence or something, but if those people put up with that every day, they need to take their mayor out and stake him out in the middle of Woodruff Road and let them have it. But what a mess. It took us about an hour to get across an area that should have taken us 5 minutes. That's how bad it was. Anyway. So, next time we do this, we are not going to be coming back at 4 o'clock. All right, so, Lee, I was wondering, you're not receiving very well. I hope you're hearing me. Your sound just as strong as ever, so I'm wondering if when you disconnected that receiver, if something got bumped. So, let's find out. Let's see, K4VWD in the group, W4BC.
Okay, Charlie, thank you. Well, this is K4VWD, and I copied everybody just fine that time except George. I could tell he was in there, and I agree that Stefan's audio was a bit low, and I was having trouble with that, but he was strong. So I copied everybody just fine except George. And let's see, Clyde, your signal was fine too. And Stefan was okay except for the low in frequency, low voice, low audio. All right, let me take a quick standby. Do we have anybody else that wants to join us? If so, please call me now. Don't hear anybody. Well, I've got a little bit of local noise that's causing some problem, but that time around, very little problem. And I'm not hearing any of the QRN from up north. It's not moving the needle at all, and I'm not hearing it. So maybe you guys are just better, got better receivers than my PMR8. And the temperature's climbed up to 74 here. So with that, we'll go around again, and Dave, I hope y'all have a wonderful time after church going to Shelby. WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
All right, Lee. K4VWD in the group, WA4LLR. Fine business all the way around, 100% copy on everybody. Still hearing some of the QRN from the Ohio area, but it's not too bad. Well, Clyde, glad you got the garage tent put together and put up. Sounds like they included everything you needed. And Stephen, copying you 100%. Audio is on the toward the bassier side, but not a problem at all. And George copying the Viking too quite well. I'm sorry you're not going to make it to Shelby. And Steve's always loud, so there's no need to say anything there. And Cliff, I think Steve needs to be a representative for Malachite. I mean, he's got so many people ordering those rigs now, he ought to get a commission. Buddy, it's been pretty dry up here as well. I've been having to keep watering the tomatoes and peppers and stuff we've got set out. And Glenn, glad you guys had a good visit. And Charlie, sorry about the traffic. It seems like any time you get around I-26 or I-85, you might as well bring your lunch or a book to read or something. It's just, yeah. Well, let's see. Our solar weather, space weather today, sunspot count's 99, solar flux index is 147, and the K is 1.33. They're saying we could get a minor geomagnetic storm on the 27th because a magnetic filament erupted, I think, on the 23rd, and we may get a little bit of a hit from some charged particles, but that remains to be seen. This day in history, some interesting events. In the year 79, Mount Vesuvius erupted and took out Pompeii. On this day in 1929, Yasser Arafat was born. On this day in 1955, Mike Huckabee was born. On this day in 2011, Steve Jobs resigned as CEO of Apple with a health issue, and of course passed away about 2 months later. On this day in 2006, the planet Pluto was demoted to dwarf planet status. On this day in 1989, Pete Rose was banned from baseball because they found out he'd been betting on the games, like the rest of them didn't. And he was also ineligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame. On this day in 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization went into effect. And on this day in 1932, Amelia Earhart took off from L.A. and landed in Newark, New Jersey, and became the first woman to fly nonstop across the United States. So that's enough from this day in history. Fly, here it comes, in 4CLY, WA4LLR.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. I finally got a chance to hear everybody, and I'm pleased to say everybody is perfectly clear on my end. And I'm going to have to end my rounds here with the net this morning. I got some things to do and get ready to head to town and get some stuff done there. But speaking of that detour you was talking about, we had a detour up here that lasted almost a year, and it cut us off from our entrance into Shelby from up the northern part of the county into the backside of Shelby, which was way closer than going up 226 and into 74. And they just took the bridge out over there on one of our roads and just left it. Didn't go back for about a year, and then they finally fixed it, so we've got our access back. Anyway, I'll say 7 threes to everybody, and hope you guys have a great day and a good week next week. And I'll turn it back over to Stefan, NC40N73N4CLY.
Stefan, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Sorry for that. Okay, I changed microphones here. I hope this is a little bit better and not too bassy. So I'm back on the RE27. You were a little bit lighter there, Clive, for me, but earlier you were booming in here. You're 20 over. All right, very good. Yeah. Also, today is an interesting day for the history of moon landing. I think the Indian people successfully landed a moon lander on the back of the moon today, so that will be eventually make the history books. I think they were all cheering for that, and it's quite interesting. After an unsuccessful landing from the Russians earlier this week, these guys actually made it, and it's the first time on the south pole of the moon something like this is working. So, all right, and then I hope everybody enjoyed the Republican debate yesterday. It was quite interesting. I truly enjoyed it, and it's gonna come very interesting in the next one on how things are developing. But I saw some real good candidates there. All right, very good. Well, not much else to report. Everybody is coming in really good this morning, and I have no complaints receiving any of you, except maybe George a little bit light, but I'm using my headset so I can pull you out. All right, George, back to you. K4GDN in the group NC40N. Here he comes.
It's certainly got rid of all of the bassy wood there. Sounds very good. I'm copying everybody very well here. There's beginning to be a little bit of QS3. It seemed to affect Glenn and Charlie more than anybody else, but I got most of what they had to say. And Charlie, thanks for picking up your finger. And Glenn, you should be getting the check, hopefully. And Charlie, I sent you a letter yesterday. I put an exhaustive list of tubes in there. We were talking about this earlier. You can bring them down in September when you bring the receiver. And you might let me know what date you're going to be down here in September. You were saying it was towards the end of the month. And Lee, thanks for calling it in. And Lee, you're always coming in here well. I don't know what it is about me getting out here. It's probably my antennas. And in fact, I've got lots of trees around my antennas, but they're basically on the south and west side. The north side I'm pretty open. North and west side. But anyway, be that as it may be. But the band does seem to be developing a little bit of QSB, but it is very quiet. And the net has gone really good today. I really enjoyed it. So with that, we'll pass it on to... Oh, and by the way, I'm on my center-fed dipole this morning. I was going to try to use it. I'm not sure I've used the infill on the Viking so far. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that. Anyway, Steve, it's coming to you. N4LQ in the group, K4GDN.
K4GDN in the group, N4LQ. All right, George. Yeah, a little QSB that time. Copied everything okay, but band's starting to shift around a little bit, and skip's getting a little shorter, I suppose. But otherwise, everything's coming in great here. Cliff, fine on the malachite. Just be sure to put your receiver front-end protection device on there. I always got mine in line. I built one using those Schottky diodes, and it works great. So anyway, I think we're supposed to get some rain this weekend and the first of the week, but it's starting to look like maybe it's going to clear up before the Hamfest, and everything will be good. I hope that's correct. And maybe a little cooler also. So that would be a welcome relief. And I'm just using the AS68 this morning, and I'm using an SDR right now and recording it, video streaming it. So hoping that comes out. I've made some improvements on it. Should sound a little bit better. And anyhow, I guess that's about it. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Cliff, WB4NKL, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4NKL. Okay, Steve. Yeah, I got the little Schottky diode device built, put it in line, so hopefully receiver won't get zapped by something. I seen the weather forecast for Shelby. The one I was looking at's looking a lot better than it did. It shows pretty good weather Friday and Saturday, and lower temperatures. So that's a big plus. Today's supposed to be up about 90 here, and tomorrow's up above 94. I think they're calling for hottest day, and then it starts cooling off here in this area. But it's not quite up. Warmer temperature than this. I'm gonna get out and say 73s and get my walk in. I need to be back before 11, and takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to get around. So I'll have this timed about right. 73s, enjoyed it, and thanks for calling it, Lee. And we'll try to catch everybody Sunday. Go ahead, buddy. WB4ARK, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, WB4ARK. Okay, Cliff. Your audio looks really good on the scope. And good sounding audio also. And Stefan, your mic sounds much better, this second mic. And I heard Reed tuning up on the net about 8:30. Gave him a call, but didn't get a return. So I don't know what happened to Reed today. George, you mentioned something, and it kind of sounded like you were saying that I owed you something, and I would like for you to clarify that. If I do owe you something, let me know. So let's see what else we got here. Guess that's about it. So thanks, Lee, for doing the net. As usual, your signal is very strong and looks very good. So over to Glenn, N4AK, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. WB4ARK, November 4 Alpha Kilo. There's a little bit of QSB going on right now, but I've been chasing myself around in a circle since I unplugged the TS2000 to sell it to Charlie. I put another transceiver over there and nothing would happen. Well, I've been around in circles. So, but the TR relay and the SP200 is not coming in. I've got the Harbach mod in there, but now the TR relay, I mean, I just couldn't believe that, because when I unplugged it, it was working fine. So I naturally assumed it was the other transceiver that had a problem. And the older you get, the worse the language gets when you have a problem like that. I'm embarrassed. Anyway, I directly short the RCA plug and it didn't come in. That's how I finally figured it out. Anyway, Lee, thanks for doing the net for us this morning. Signals, like I say, copying everybody good except George is a little low, but that's because he's DX. And I hope your doctor's appointment on Wednesday turned out all right. So, Charlie, I'm glad you told me you didn't get on the air Tuesday night with that rig, because I had a guilt trip, because I just knew that you had been on sideband and I wasn't there, and I forgot all about it. So I'm glad you didn't get on 6 meters Tuesday night with that rig. So W4MEC and 4AK.
Real good, Glenn. It's 4AK and the old friends W4MEC. Well, Boone didn't make it either. He was over working with his brother, and he said he didn't get home till 9 o'clock. So nobody was there that night. So that's all right. And I'll tell you, when I got home, I was worn out. So I guess dealing with traffic can tie you down sometimes. And one thing I did notice, it was 98 down there when I started heading home from Lee's on the car thermometer after it settled down to where it should be. And I got to Greer, and it was 95 as I headed north out of Greer. I watched it go all the way down to 85 when I got on top of the mountain there. So I think by the time I got home, it was 83. So quite a bit of difference in temperature between where I live and down there that afternoon. So, but I sure would have liked to have known what the problem was down there, because when Lee and I got off of the exit to avoid the backup on I-85, I went pretty far up the exit before we hit the traffic, and as we sat there, I kept looking in the rearview mirror, and it wrapped out. It went down the exit. I could see down there, and it's down the interstate, so whatever it was must have just occurred about the time we got there, or that it starts every day right there. But anyway, did not like it. Yeah, I'll get this rig hooked up. I had brought my big 35 amp power supply into the Studio A, and was hooking a couple things to it. I still haven't put the nuts back on the studs back there for the 12 volts, but hooking a couple things back up to it that it ran off of, so I'm glad I didn't finish the job. Now I can put the power cable on that thing again. And fire it back up. I was wondering when you said it wasn't working if you had if you had more than one RF cable hooked on the back of that TLC 2000. I think it's got 4 connectors. You know that, but I wonder if you picked up the right cable going to that TR switch and maybe got one of the other cables there that was on the back. So I actually had mine hooked up to bulkhead connectors here where I could, for UHF, or rather VHF rather, and I could switch my one feed line to my antenna, my VHF antenna system, one feed line from here out to that switch by just moving jumpers around. So it had 3 connectors on the back. So anyway, that's the story on that. Thanks for running the net, Lee. Like I said, great signal as always. So hopefully our receive signal's cleared up a little bit. Let's see. Oh, comment on your walk there, Cliff. Well, he already left. But anyway, I had one that took me about an hour, a little over an hour to walk it, and a fellow built a house in this pasture I used to cross, and I've never felt right about it. Even though I talked to him, he says, yeah, you can cross here, and I never really felt right about crossing across his pasture and his property now, you know, where they used to, well, they still cut hay off of it on the lower part of it, but I'm still a little edgy about crossing that, but so I had to truncate my trip on my walk, but I really missed my longer walk. So anyway, let's see. Back to Lee, K4VWD in the group W4. Let me see.
Okay, Charlie, thank you. I got a bad QSB right now, but things went pretty well that time around. And Charlie, your signal's going from about a S4, S5 up to 40 over. That's how bad the QSB here is my house. Let me take a quick standby. Does anybody else want to check in? We'll listen for Reed, if y'all will, in case. This is K4VWD standing by for calls. Don't hear anybody. Did anybody hear anybody that I missed? Don't hear anything. All right. This is K4VWD. Well, Glenn, first of all, I read your first story about your trip over, and I haven't read any of the others yet. And the newspaper article about Murdoch, I've been following that for quite a while. I haven't read this article yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Let me tell you what, we had a lot of traffic problems, like Charlie said, but boy, what a driver he is. If you ever get a chance to ride with Charlie, go ahead, man. He's a great one. And I went to the doctor yesterday, and good news. He cut one of my diabetic medicines. I was surprised. But anyway, he said my A1C was kind of low, so he wanted me to quit taking one of mine. So that was good news. So I had a good trip to the doctor yesterday. And let's see. Nothing else from here right now. So, Dave, if you're still there, go ahead. And we'll make this a 73 round, and somebody may have signed out, but I only got Cliff signing out. So, WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
K4VWD in the group, WA4LR. Yeah, it was Cly. He signed, and Cliff signed. All righty, well, excellent all the way around. I need to get out of here and get back to work. before it gets very much warmer. So, Lee, thanks for calling the net. 7-3, God bless. Hope everybody has a great day. And, Lord willing, we'll catch up with you here one of these days. So, Stefan, I believe it goes to you. NC4ON, WA4LLR.
Yeah, Roger, Dave, W4LNR in the group NC4ON. All right, beautiful copy. Dave on your station coming in here also extremely strong this morning, so no issues whatsoever copying you guys. Thank you for doing the Netly. I enjoyed it. Hope we can do it again next week. Let me see. No, next week I'll be out of town. That will be difficult, so it will be for the following week. All right, everybody, hopefully have a good rest of the week, and maybe we'll see you then at the Hamfest in Shelby. So that's it. 73s, and over to you. Let me see, George, K4GDN in the group, NC4ON.
NC4ON in the group, K4GDN. And I think everybody's going well, but the band is changing a little bit. Lee, the QSP was getting you a little there. And thanks for calling the net, Lee. And, buddy, we're okay. I was referring to Charlie. Maybe I misspoke, but Charlie and I have some things going on there. Charlie's bringing down the receiver from Glenn. And also, I sent Charlie a letter with a bunch of tube listings in it. And that's what we were talking about. Hopefully it'll be in here on Thursday. Oh, and by the way, I got a good doctor's report last Tuesday after we got off the net. I had my 6-month checkup, and everything's doing fine. So far everything's good here. With that, I guess I'll turn it on over to Steve. 73 guys enjoyed it, and I sure wish I could get to Shelby. So, Steve, here he comes. N4LQ in the group, K4GDN.
K4GDN in the group, N4LQ. Very good, George. Good copy on everybody. And it's been a real pleasure this morning. And, Lee, thanks a lot for running the net. It sounds like everything is under control there, and you did great. PMR8 must have decided to do better, or your noise went away or something. But let's see, in for a couple of hot days and then a little bit of rain this weekend. And I guess Sunday will be our next net here at 6:30 p.m. We'll see y'all there. And trying to get ready for another month coming up real soon here. So 73s to everybody, and I'm passing it on to Buddy Cliff S. Sign, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay, Steve. Another good transmission. And thanks, George, for the heads up. I thought we were good on the relays and all, so that sounds good. And the temperature here, I checked a few minutes ago, it's 78 degrees. And yesterday was a fairly cool day. A really nice day. Breeze blowing from time to time, and cool temperature, so it was really nice. So with that, I will say 73 from here. And thanks again, Lee, for doing the net. And we'll see, hopefully, you on Sunday. N4AK, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. And good to hear you this morning. And the other morning I was just reading the mail, and it seems like y'all may be working on another train project. You were talking about a burn-up, so if that's true, don't forget to put a picture of your current project online for us to look at. It's always interesting. I know Charlie's interested in trains, and I am too. Used to be anyway. But so still keep up with them. Sound like you and your son have a real project going there. So thank you again, Lee, for doing the net. Glad you got a great doctor's report. And so Charlie, over to you. W4MEC and 4. One question, one thing I forgot. if George is still copying, no, Dave, if you're still copying, I've got 2 books that I gave to Charlie to give you at the next luncheon or whenever he sees you. There's a book by Strauss on radio astronomy I picked up at Grand Bank, and a project book, so he's got those for you. W4MEC and 4AK.
Yeah, Glenn, N4AK in the group, W4MEC. Thanks. Well, I remembered the 2 books that had to go to Dave, but it slipped my mind who got the other ones, and I think you just reminded me with George, so I now remember that now. I'll put it with the receiver. So, anyway, and my comment slipped my, about the trains there. Yeah, you know, Glenn, when you had to dismantle that wonderful Markland layout, and I think you said you sold it to a fellow. There was a fellow on this site called OGR. It's O-Gauge Railroading, and it's a pretty good site. And the fellow has been posting his dismantling of his basement empire, and the thing was, the history of it goes back to 2011, I think, when he was building it. And from 2011 till 2023, well, just recently, he was putting updates on how he built stuff, changed stuff, and all of that. And now the last couple posts showing him totally dismantling it down to the 2x4s that held everything up. So it's kind of a historical, if you could put all the pictures together and string them together real fast, it would make an interesting slideshow from the first 2x4 to the and screw to the last 2x4 taken out with a screw. So, but interesting stuff. And I tell you, some people, you know, while HO can be an affordable part of the hobby, O-Gauge is not, and everything is at least 4 times as expensive. So when you have a basement full of it, it's quite the gold mine there. But not quite as expensive as the locomotives that Buddy and his son put together, though. That is a serious rich man hobby there. When it comes to folks that actually buy them pre-assembled. Building them by yourself piecemeal is not too bad, but completely ready to run, it's quite the sticker shock. So anyway, 7-3 all, and I want to make one quick note that Sunday, rather Tuesday was it, when I was running with the RF gains almost at 0. Today I'm running with the RF gains almost at max on this Mohawk receiver, so quite a bit of difference. 7-3 all, we'll talk to you on Sunday. K4VWD in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, very good. Was a little bit better that time, but not wonderful. Still a lot of QSB. Does anybody have any final comments? If so, call me now. Don't hear anybody, so I guess we're done. So I will also say 7-3, God bless. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Look forward to talking to you Sunday, and if you go to Shelby, have a good time. And I hope the weather's decent for you up there. So again, 7-3, God bless. Take care, and we'll talk to you Sunday. K4VWD is now closing the old friend's net. So long.